All right, guys, good morning. I'm Rob with Complete Turbo. As everybody should know by now, we just became a Holley EFI dealer. But there's a lot of other things that Holley EFI owns and sells that a lot of people don't know about. And one of them that I'm going to talk about this morning is Quick Fuel Technologies' new line of blow-through carburetors. I'm still here at home this morning. I had to put through some Holley orders this morning and get some things rolling with that. But while I was here, I just thought we purchased this for an LS Renegade car that we're putting together this year. And I just kind of wanted to go over some things that I like and what I don't like about the blow-through carburetor that Quick Fuel makes. There's a bunch of positives to it, and there's only a very few downsides. And I'll cover those in just a moment. There's a lot of people switching over to EFI at the moment, and I do like EFI. We all know it's a little bit more expensive, but it gives you a lot more options as far as tuning. It gives you a lot more options as far as cruise and drivability and getting the car to be smooth and consistent. But the blow-through carburetor is still not to be wrote off because it still has its niche. Anywhere that you see a class running that intercoolers are punished, or they have to add weight, or maybe you end up with a stock bottom end style thing, but you know an intercooler is going to hinder the performance of the car, and you're not allowed to run something like M1 or M3 or M5 or any of the methanol based fuels. If you do, you're punished for it too. In that situation, a blow-through carburetor has a little bit more advantage than EFI, and the reason for that is with EFI, the injector, a multi-port style sequential injection, the injector is way down in the intake runner, almost on top of the valve. So the fuel has zero time to cool the intake charge and just make the cylinder temperature and cylinder conditions better overall. The carburetor, though, is 4, 5, 6 inches from the intake valve. So when the fuel is dispersed out of the booster, it cools the fuel starting then, and it'll actually chill the entire intake manifold all the way down to the valve, which then creates a better cylinder condition. So anytime you're not allowed to run an intercooler, or an intercooler is punished, generally you'll see a guy that's running up front with something like a blow-through style or a fuel injection where the fuel injector is not right on top of the intake valve. But there's not a lot of mass-produced intakes that the injector is not right on top of the intake valve. So if you were going to run something like that in a class like we run, which is supposed to be budget to begin with, you'd end up having to modify an intake manifold, you'd end up having to move the injector up, and then you end up with dispersing issues because fuel injectors just don't like to work up there. So honestly, sometimes in certain situations, whether it be budget or whether it be class rules, a blow-through carburetor could work to your advantage. So we're going to pull this one out. I also have an intake manifold, and I may get it out in a minute, but I don't think I'm going to. This is the Q750 BAN. And if you look right here, Q is, of course, stands for Quick Fuel. 750 stands for the size of the main body of the carburetor. It's a 750 CFM main body. And then BAN stands for Blow-Through Annular Booster. So this one, and I'll show you in a second, you can get them with down leg or you can get them with annular boosters. I prefer annular boosters because I think you just get a better signal. I think overall the fuel's dispersed better in the intake manifold, so you don't end up with different cylinders getting different things, and it also helps for the intake charge to be cooler. So just right as I pull it out of the box, of course, you look and you see that, let me get up here where you can see it. You can see that the annular boosters are very nice. They're big, and it just gives you an overall good appearance. We can also see that the bowls are still cast and the main body is still cast, but the base plate and all of the metering blocks are actually billet aluminum. It's a very nice made carb. It feels good. Everything works nice and smooth. It does have some polypropylene floats in it, The only thing that I do not like about the quick fuel upon first inspection, I had it out the other day and pulled the bowls off of it and looked, is they do not send an adjustable power valve. However, I have not run this carburetor with the power valves that they send in it, but if you know anything about blow-through carburetors, in general, the jets and the primary air bleeds are what give the car its drivability. So anything that's off throttle to full throttle, no boost, is done with the jet. And then everything that's in boost is done with the power valves. So they don't send you adjustable power valves. So if it were me, I would personally want to install some adjustable power valves. They're fairly cheap. I think you can get them for around $100 a piece or something. And they're billet aluminum. They're very nice. You just screw the screw in or screw the screw out whenever you want the fuel to come on, or how much fuel you want to come on. But I really think overall this is a very good piece to start with, a very good starting point for somebody that wants to go blow through carburetor. And if you couple this with the MSD 7531 or the 6000 series box for the LS engines, you end up with a combination that's very usable, very tunable, very easy to get down a racetrack. We dealt with one last year on Michael Basney's car, and it was fantastic. But I do want to tell everybody, never expect to pull a blow-through carburetor out of the box and strap it on and go racing. Some people will tell you that some companies make carburetors like that, blow-through carbs that you can just pull out of the box, strap it on, and go racing. And I have never in my life had that experience with a blow-through carburetor. The power valves always need to be adjusted. Sometimes the power valve channels need to be manipulated. Jet changes need to occur. It's just like with any carburetor. You can't just expect to pull it out of the box and strap it on the motor and it be ideal for the situation. So keep that in mind when you buy any carburetor that's going to be on a blow-through setup, and especially when you buy one of these. And the reason I say that is because most of the other manufacturers of blow-through carburetors are very expensive. But you can buy this one fairly reasonable. We can get them under $1,000 shipped. So when everything's said and done, I think the quick fuel is a very good base to start with if you in fact know a little bit about blow-through carburetors to begin with. They do make this in gasoline and E85. They also make it in an 850 CFM version. A 750 CFM version will go a long way. Derek Reynolds took one last year to like 1,500 horsepower or something. So don't be afraid of the 750 version. If you're going to be around 1,000 horsepower, they should be good to go. But once again, I really think the quick fuel, just out of the box looking at it, is going to be a very nice piece. Of course, it's going to take some adjusting, but for those of you out there looking for blow-through carburetors, don't be afraid to give us a call, or MSD boxes. Or if you want to go fuel injection, we'll hook you up with some Holley EFI stuff. But anyway, this is Rob from Complete Turbo. You guys have a good day. We'll see you later.